Hi, folks. Joette Calabrese, folks, nice to see you. If you don't know me, I am a homeopath and I practice homeopathy. I teach homeopathy, but most important, I try to inspire others to use homeopathy with as much information as I possibly can. So I want to be sure that you get that message tonight. All righty. Say, oh, hi. Be Positive Mindset. Hi, Joette from Canada. And Jean from Abilene. And Sarah Hale. Hi, Sarah. Kathy McDevitt. Hi, Kathy. Sherry. Neely, the first one. Hortense. Great name. Very nice. Very, very nice. So I have to tell you, folks, I almost didn't do this tonight. I am in very much training myself into swimming pretty heavily, and all through this COVID-19 event, I've been swimming every day. We have a pool, and so I've been swimming. I live in Florida, so I could do that, and I've been swimming about an hour a day. And the beach is opened, and now that it's open, in the very beginning, there was a lot of seaweed. And it was very unpleasant to swim in lots of seaweed. And then other days, it was too choppy, and the waves were too large, so I didn't swim in the ocean. So the last couple of days, I've been swimming in open water, and I have really pushed myself. I guess I didn't realize, kind of foolish of me, the difference between swimming in a pool, laps in a pool, versus swimming in open water where there are some waves and you're working very hard. And I was absolutely beat up. I mean, when I say that I was exhausted today, I was achy and felt like I was getting sick. A little nauseous, but mostly every muscle and joint in my body was causing tremendous pain. And I pushed through my appointments today. I actually wasn't that bad during the day, but boy, it really hit me about 2 hours ago. And I said, you know, I really wish I didn't have to do this tonight. But now I actually feel fine, and I'm going to tell you why. What happened years ago really turned me on to this, and this is not what I plan on talking about tonight. Tonight we were going to talk about anxiety, and we will still talk about that. You know, we can count on certain people not getting what we are getting, and so I'm going to, but I'll go back to that. So what I really want to spend time on with this at this very moment is that years ago, I had a client who was actually a captain of the Sabres hockey team and his family, lovely family. And it was, now captains of hockey teams are older than the players, usually by about 10 years, something like that. And it was the preseason training. And he came into my office, it's when I had a brick and mortar office, and he came into my office with his wife and children, and he came in to just drop them off and say hello. But he looked like death. He was a big, strapping, good-looking young man, not as young, however, as his teammates. And he looked very sick. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "No, it was pre-season training, and I feel very sick. I feel nauseous. I feel like I could even pass out. I'm aching everywhere." And because the training was too extreme, it was the first one of the season, even though, of course, he trained all winter long, but not to the degree that they did in the beginning of the preseason time. And so he looked white. So I said, "Well, if you're interested in trying this, I'm happy to tell you about this medicine." And he said, "Sure, whatever it takes." So I went and got a dose of arnica 1M. And now I can't administer to someone. I can't put it in their mouth. So I gave it to his wife, and I said, you folks decide whether or not you want him to take this. And he said, you know, I don't know if anything's going to help this. I really feel awful, and tomorrow I got to start all over again. So his wife insisted on it. "Here, honey, take this." So she put it in his mouth. And I had a window seat in my office that was a long sofa. And I said, "You can lay right there if you'd like." He says, "No, I feel so sick that I really don't want to be around anyone. I'll go in the car and I'll wait there." So he went into the car. Meanwhile, I took his children's cases And about 45 minutes later, he walked in with a smile, a grin, a Cheshire cat smile from ear to ear, so happy with full color in his cheeks. He looked great. I said, so I guess you're feeling better. He said, what is that stuff? No kidding. What was that stuff? It was Arnica 1M. So today, I had actually taken Arnica earlier today, which is probably why I didn't feel so awful until it wore off and I needed to take another dose. So I took Arnica 1M about an hour ago, and I want to say, what is that stuff? I feel back to myself. I'm not dragging. I was actually feeling depressed. I felt so awful in my body. I'd pushed myself far too far in the ocean in swimming today. So, and yesterday, as a matter of fact. So it's an extra little tip that I hadn't actually been planning on talking about tonight, but I wanted to talk about it because to me it's very pertinent and I feel great. Actually feel like I could go out and swim again, but I have to pay attention. I really overdo it. You know, St. Augustine said complete abstinence is better than perfect moderation. But I think I got it wrong because mine is not abstinence. Complete abstinence is better than overdoing it. And so for me, I overdo everything in my life and I don't know when to stop. My husband tries to tell me, my parents have always told me, calm down, get a grip, and just do everything in moderation, which is very, very hard for me to do. So St. Augustine did not speak to me in the way I think he had planned to. So tonight we are going to talk about, let's just see a couple more. Hi, how are you? I wasn't so well until you listen to my story, and it's a writer downer, folks. Overuse of the body, pushing it too hard. First part of the season for someone in sports. Not knowing where moderation, where the line between good job and moderation are connected. So it's Arnica 1M, and all I needed was 1M this morning, and then I just took another dose about an hour or so ago, and it really has made a huge difference. So tonight we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about actually a few remedies. One is the tremendous anxiety that people are still feeling. I think that we are, to say that this country and even the world, but we're around our countrymen, to say that this country is in a panic is putting it mildly. Now, those of you who know homeopathy are not panicked, right? I mean, I'm not panicked about this. I have not been panicked. In the beginning, we weren't sure what to expect. They were giving us figures, in my estimation, to panic us. And they did. They scared everyone until we could get a feel for what was going on and that it was related to SARS, this COVID-19, and that et cetera, et cetera. And we got a better picture of it. But once you know what the medicines are and you own them, you have comfort. At least I did. And I had comfort for my husband and me and our children and our neighbors and friends. So that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about was this panic. Now, you know, I always talk about Ignatia 200 twice daily when you're feeling anxious, worried, the future, what will the future bring? Because that's, of course, what many people are worried about. What will the future bring? But there are others too. I've also mentioned Coffea 200 for when the brain is going very much too fast. It's like a hamster in a cage, running round and round on the wheel, busy, 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 can't sleep, etc. Coffea 200 is also a very good medicine. But I don't know that I've talked to you about aconitum. And I have it, you know, and when we were going over the Materia Medica, and I can't wait to get back to my Materia Medica so that we can start learning our remedies a little bit better. Koshanda or Kryshanda, that's such a great image that she sends out. Yes. So at any rate, laugh out loud. Pretty sure the governor of New York is dancing with the devil. It's amazing. It's amazing what's happening in New York. My poor family is up in New York. It's so much better down here in Florida. And there are other governors that are really, really, I don't know where their heads are. But at any rate, so aconitum, aconite for short, aconitum napellus, if you use the full word, it's two words, aconitum Napalis, exactly the way it sounds, folks. It's Latin, so think of it, it's phonetically correct. So Aconitum Napalis 200C, and this is when we use it, when there is a panic, and especially when you wake into it. So you fall asleep and you, oh my gosh, like that devil's dream, like the dream of the devil's ball. That's why I wanted to bring that up as well. Now, coffea can also do that, but what coffea does, what I mean by when you need to use coffea, is that when you're sleeping, you wake up, fall back to sleep, wake up, fall back to sleep, wake up, mind is busy, busy, busy. Aconitum is different. Aconitum is asleep and the whole central nervous system, a shock to the system is what it feels like. And the person wakes up with anxiety, and maybe their heart is thumping hard, or they're feeling like something like an impending doom is forthcoming. So that's when we use Aconitum 200. Now, we're not going to use it for months. We're going to use it just for a couple of days, perhaps Aconitum 200 at that moment, at the very moment this happens, and then maybe twice a day for a few days, and then drop it because it's very likely that it will end at that point. And if it comes back, you resume taking the medicine again. So, when we look at, now we've got Ignatia, coffea. We've also talked about Aurum metallicum in the past, and you can go back to past times. I don't want to go over too many medicines at once, but I did want to concentrate on Aconitum 200, Aconitum Napalis. Now, the other aspect of what people are worried about are viruses. Whether it's this virus or that virus, I want you to think in terms of if it's just a virus, if it's a virus and we don't know the symptoms yet, or there are no symptoms that are presenting, all we know is that we want a prophylactic as for a virus. One of the best medicines is Thuja, Thuja. Thuja occidentalis is the second word, but Thuja, and I like it in a 30. Prasanta Banerjee is using it in his protocol for this COVID event, and but you can use this for most viruses. Now, it doesn't mean we just stop there. Once we have a symptom that we can rest on, such as, well, now there's coughing, or now there's a sore throat, then we're going to use those other medicines in addition to Thuja 30. But I like to use Thuja 30 twice a day, every day. What else is it good for? I mean, we could come up with lots of things for Thuja. And I urge you folks to read your Materia Medica. If you own my Materia Medica, if you want to go online and read Kent's Materia Medica, this one is mine. It's concise, it's simple, it's practical, but there are many others, and there are many good authors for Materia Medicas. So Materia Medicas. So Thuja 30 can be used specifically for viruses. It can be even for herpetic viruses. It's not my top medicine for that, but it is very useful for it as well. Now, oh, hi, from Palm Beach. Wow, hi. Not far from me. You're only about 10 minutes away. It's excellent. Virginia, hi, preparedness tips. Hello. Oh, you know that I'm going to look you up. I think I looked you up before and to see what you're talking about, and I'm happy to direct you on more information at preparedness tips. Ellie from Palm Beach, our neighbor. Yep. Okay. Hello from Minnesota. Yes, it is very different. I used to do both. I think you're more buoyant in pool water for some reason. Yeah, you know, when it is salt water, I am buoyant as long as it's flat calm. But boy, is it hard swimming when there's any wave action. I have a distance. I go up to a certain building, you know, that's on the shore, and then I come back again, and it's rigorous, very rigorous. My husband says, you know, you are not 30 years old. You need to calm it down a bit. And this is actually my 6th week of swimming daily. I only missed one day. And I usually try to swim an hour, but not to the degree that I've been swimming in terms of rigorousness. Okay, now let's talk about another medicine that I love, and I've written about this. And if you want to look it up so that you can read a little bit more about it yourself, if you just, I hate to say Google, but use your search engine and look up homeopathic remedies for enterovirus 68. I'd written that back in September 11th, 2014. And I talk about the medicine that can be used when, and this is very important that you get this straight, folks. I don't want you to make this mistake. When someone has an immune problem, such as they get colds very readily, they get flus too easily, they get viruses far too frequently. And I don't mean once a year. I mean, let's say it's a child, and I meet with many families who have children who get a cold every week. Every month. And the mother is constantly dealing with, it seems like one is almost gone, and then it comes back again. Only it's a little different this time. Now it's a sore throat. Last time it was an ear infection. Before that it was a cough. So the medicine is calcarb. Calcarea carbonicum is the full word. Calc, C-A-L-C, carb, C-A-R-B is the abbreviated. And I urge folks to use it in a 200C. This is what I learned from Prasanta and Pradeep Banerjee, Doctors Banerjee, is to use it every other day when there is someone who is prone to getting sick. This is not for someone who says, I'd rather not get sick. That's not what we use it for. It's for someone who absolutely does get sick, and they get sick too frequently or it lasts too long. Okay, we'll go back to it in a second, but I want to catch some of these questions here. Yeah, everything in moderation, including moderation. I never did learn that, Carol. That's what Oscar Wilde said. Yeah, I know. And will Arnica 200 work, or does it have to be a 1M? I'm sure 200 would work, but I've just seen it. It's been so dramatic a shift. When I saw that happen in the Sabres hockey team captain, when I saw it happen so quickly, I felt as though I had one opportunity to convince him of the value of arnica. And he was so sick, he was so weakened and so white that I thought I would go higher than a 200 potency, and we went with a 1M. And ever since then, when I feel as though I feel like he must have felt that day, I go to a 1M. But 200 would very likely work. Okay. Yeah, let's just see what else we've got here. Hi from Virginia. Hi, Polly. Another one from Virginia. All you're overdoing. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's no doubt. Love my aconitum, says Amanda. Tell us how you're using it. And congratulations. You're probably congratulating on my swimming. Congratulating me. Love your Materia Medica. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Hi, Darylyn. Aconitum to the rescue, says Darylyn. You bet. Hi from Montana. That's Holy Cross. How about busy with finances, your only concern? I would say busy with finances, and that's a concern. That could be, you're looking for not what's causing it as much as how it's presenting. Is it presenting in sleeplessness, you have to ask yourself? Is it presenting in busy head? Is it presenting in anxiety attacks? Is it presenting in waking in the middle of the night? That's what we're looking for. So don't look at what the reason is as much. It can be useful sometimes, but we're looking more for the symptoms and how it presents. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? How do we find someone who's wise to help in our study group? Call my office. If you're looking for joining a study group and you want to go with someone who's had lots of experience running the study groups, by all means, call my office and talk to Eileen. She's excellent with this. She helps people all the time. Generalized anxiety. Generalized anxiety is, generally speaking, Ignatia 200, especially if we're talking about a woman. Now, it doesn't mean a man can't use that, but Ignatia is a little bit heavier on the female side. So generalized anxiety can often be, without any more information, with just that, I would consider going with that. Does stramonium fit in here? No, I don't see stramonium in anything that we've discussed so far. Yep, did my protocol and felt confident, says Amanda. Very good. Yeah, warts. Warts. Thuja is great for warts. Thuja, 30. But I will also tell you, it's not my first choice for warts. And I've talked about that on my blog, so if you're looking for that. What remedy for children with anxiety? If it's a generalized anxiety, I'm going to say again, it's often Ignatia 200 twice a day. And I'm not going to spell it because I know that Natalie is right here and she will lay it all out for you. Yes, Thuja got rid of 2 warts for me. Thuja is actually my second choice for, or sometimes even my third choice for warts, but it does work for some people really well. All righty. High exposure at a hospital. Yes, that's right, Thuja. That's right. Here it is. Okay, so it says Joette Calabrese and it says Thuja 30. And we normally use it twice daily. Loved Prager's talk on happiness. Susan, isn't he an amazing man? Dennis Prager. If you people don't know who Dennis Prager is, please let me share him with you. Listen, if you're not getting my emails, because I put out daily emails of inspiration and ideas and uplifting ways to live life around all of this. And when this is over with, we'll probably back off. And I will tell you, there's so much I want to teach you folks, but I worry about these forums. I'm going to be honest. I worry about Facebook and YouTube, and you get it. I know you all get it. So I'm trying to figure out a way that I can give you information in a more public way that is not incriminating. And I do have to be careful of that. I'm sure you understand. Thank goodness for Perry. Yes. And so if you are not getting my emails, all you need to do is go to one of my blogs and download one of the remedy cards, and you'll automatically get my emails, and then you'll be able to go back and look at them. So I just talked about Dennis Prager at Prager University. I think he is one of the great minds, one of the wiser people in our world today. Okay, keeps flipping. So we're hearing from Francis, and preparedness tips is food storage. Oh, I see. Okay, right. Very good, though. Very good. Kelp carb, 30, 2 times a day for kids. Well, listen, we're using it for a different reason with children. When we're using kelp carb for kids in a 30th potency twice a day, now we're talking about, it's a little different. It's not as broad a picture of what I'm describing now. If we're talking about immunity problems, just immunity, having too many colds and flus and infections and urinary tract infections, then I automatically go with a 200C every other day. But if it's a child and they have other aspects of kelp carb in their sufferings, such as growth problems, etc., then I might go more towards kelp carb 30 twice a day, but that's kind of a little different angle. Okay. Fairly certain I've got the viruses, Mary Flynn. I just cannot get rid of the breathing difficulties. I never felt like I needed care, but the slightest physical activity, even singing. So, Mary Flynn, if you haven't already done so, do watch my previous Facebook Lives. You can watch them all not last week as much, although that still could be valuable, but the several before that, and you can also watch it on YouTube if you prefer. And I talk about exactly what you are discussing. So after I had COVID, I started having sinus infections. Then it goes away, then it comes back in 4 days. Yeah, kelp carb is certainly a possibility here. How about something for a kid who is wheezing with every virus? Well, it's not about, I'm not teaching about wheezing with viruses. I'm teaching about frequency of viruses, if you don't mind. And because I have talked about this in the past. Wheezing, I think I've discussed that on my blog. So check that out under asthma. Okay, I'm so sorry. I used just Bryonia for the chest and it worked. You bet. Bryonia is great for the chest. Bryonia is great for the chest and the lungs and for the breasts. Yes, believe it or not. I think I've talked about that on my blog too. Listen, whatever you're looking for, go to my blog. I try to give it all to you there. Bellis for pain. Bellis paranus is great for pain. Certain kinds of pain, soft tissue pain. I perhaps might have been able to use that today for my joints, etc. But it was more than just my joints. I felt wiped out, like someone had pulled the plug. Do you take the kelp carb every other day, once or twice on that day? When I say it's every other day and I don't give you a number of times, it means it's 1 dose every other day. Otherwise, I would say 2 times every other day. So just that's the way I speak. So I hope that makes sense for you. Do you explain somewhere what practical is better than finding your constitution? I believe I've talked about that. Yes, you know where I think I've talked about that, Marissa, is on my podcasts. Now, how will you know which one it is? If you go to podcasts and look under some of the titles, you might indeed find that under classical versus practical or practical homeopathy. And I do give a pretty full explanation. I believe I may have also talked about it a little bit on my blog. Okay, busy brain restlessness. Do you explain? Okay, there we go. Anything to help with those who have to wear a mask all day and breathe in carbon monoxide? Oh, it's awful. It's just awful. I would say, and normally I don't answer questions outside of the subject, but I think this is a good question. Personally, I believe, I went to church yesterday, was it yesterday, and I don't wear a mask anywhere because I don't go anywhere, to be honest, except for outside. And it was pretty uncomfortable. I would say carbo vegetabilis, 6 or 30 could be the medicine. Carbo vegetabilis, 2 words, 6 or 30, a couple times a day. Okay. Let's say arnica for overuse, no matter how it presents, such as a sore heel causing limping, possibly, certainly possibly. Here's someone from Manhattan, New York. Hi, Joette, thanks for all your help. Hello, Joette. Christine from New Jersey, Florida, looking forward to talking soon. Oh, yeah, hi, Christine. Let's see. Check out Not Just a Sugar Pill for a study group. Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Thank you. PTSD, waking with a jolt, anxiety, aconitum. Yes, I would say that. I would start with that possibility and also consider for post-traumatic stress disorder and consider also ignatia. I've written about that, but if you're waking with that jolt, you're not going to believe how beautifully that remedy works for that. Let us know next time, please, or write to me on my blog or something. I'd love to hear how people are using these medicines and how they're working. Let's see. Okay. Do you still advocate for kelp carb 30 for growing children? You see, that's the difference. Is that kelp carb is for growing children, but you want it to be for a growth issue and possibly immunity and possibly food intolerances. And so there's a lot more to it for kelp carb for children. What I'm teaching right now is really kelp carb 200 for adults and children who are only in the category of getting too easily coming down with colds, etc. Do you think increasing vitamin D levels is necessary to prevent getting the coronavirus? I would not use synthetic. I'm sorry, I disagree with a lot of the naturopaths. I do not like synthetic vitamin D. I don't like synthetic any kind of vitamin. But what I would do is get plenty of sunshine, and the darker your skin, the more sunshine you need. Also, you can get vitamin D from lard and tallow and cod liver oil, not fermented. Let's see. Well, how often would I use the 1M of arnica? Well, I used it this morning, arnica 1M, and I worked most of the day and I felt pretty well. I had to push through just a little bit towards the end, and then I felt it coming on and I needed to take it again. So it was about, let's see, my first appointment was maybe 9 or 10 today. And I was pretty well until, I would say it was a good 8 hours. So about every 8 hours. Coffea stopped my SVT. Excellent. Okay, Ignatia 200. Yes, Billy Joe Hale. And crying. Crying can often be Ignatia. Often. And take when flying from Colorado, New York to prevent from getting sick. Well, that's what we're talking about. And that's what we talked about in the beginning. So, Debbie, go back to the beginning because I did talk about it. And I'm not going to talk about hot flashes today, if you don't mind. Let's see. Okay, there are animal sources for vitamin A, D, and K. You bet. Loved his happiness video. Yeah, Dennis Prager. Follow him. Just watch his stuff. He's on YouTube. He's just got excellent work. All right, folks, I could stand here. Listen, I love you guys. I love doing this. And so that's what I mean when I say I'm looking forward to finding a medium in which I can give you information that I can be a little bit more free about, if you know what I mean. So I'm afraid I have to dash off. I've got a study group that I have to meet with right now. I'm actually 2 minutes late. So I'm going to say good night to you. God bless. Mwah, wonderful to see you all. Love you and see you next week. And pass this along, folks. Teach others how to use homeopathy. Good night.